Immigration shakeup, birthright citizenship, and beyond. Imagine waking up to the news that a rule in place for more than 150 years, birthright citizenship, could suddenly be stripped away. Your child, born on American soil, may no longer have an automatic right to be a U.S. citizen. Sounds shocking? Well, in 2025, this is no longer a hypothetical. It's real, and the debate has just begun. What birthright citizenship really means. Before diving into today's storm, let's step back. Birthright citizenship, also known as just Soli, is the principle that anyone born in the United States automatically becomes a U.S. citizen, regardless of their parents' immigration status. This comes directly from the 14th Amendment to the Constitution, ratified in 1868. Its language is clear: all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens. For decades, this principle has been reaffirmed, most famously in the 1898 Supreme Court case United States v. Wong, which confirmed that even children of non-citizens gain citizenship at birth. Around 30 countries around the world follow this approach, but the U.S. remains one of the few advanced economies that applies it broadly. Roughly 300,000 children are born each year to non-citizen parents under this rule. The 2025 Executive Order. Fast forward to January 20th, 2025. On Inauguration Day, President Trump signed Executive Order 14160, titled Protecting the Meaning and Value of American Citizenship. The order directs federal agencies to deny automatic citizenship to children born in the U.S. if neither parent is a U.S. citizen or lawful permanent resident. That means children of undocumented immigrants, temporary visa holders, and even many international students could be affected. The order's argument rests on a narrow interpretation of the phrase "subject to the jurisdiction thereof" in the 14th Amendment. The administration claims that individuals here without permanent legal ties are not fully under U.S. jurisdiction, and, therefore, their children should not qualify for automatic citizenship. This executive order went into effect for births after February 19, 2025. For families directly impacted, the consequences are immediate and profound. Legal challenges and court battles. But the story doesn't end there. Almost immediately, lawsuits began flying. Civil rights groups, immigrant advocacy organizations, and state governments argue the order is unconstitutional. 18 states, including California and New York, have already filed suit to block its enforcement. The legal system is now the battleground. In June 2025, the Supreme Court issued a procedural ruling that limited the scope of nationwide injunctions, but allowed the order to continue in some states while challenges move forward. Full arguments on the core issue are scheduled for October 2025, with a final decision expected in May 2026. Legal scholars predict a narrow and divisive outcome, possibly a 6-3 split, depending on how the court interprets the 14th Amendment's text and history. If upheld, the decision would mark the single largest shift in U.S. citizenship law in more than a century. Other immigration changes in 2025. While birthright citizenship dominates headlines, it's not the only immigration shakeup this year. Guided by the Project 2025 policy blueprint, the administration has pushed forward sweeping reforms. Border enforcement and deportations. Over 20 executive actions have tightened asylum processing, expanded fast-track removals under the 1789 Alien Enemies Act, and deployed military resources at the border. Early 2025 saw a sharp decline in unlawful crossings as a result. Visa and green card scrutiny. USCIS introduced tougher reviews for employment-based visas like H-1B, along with expanded in-person interviews for asylum seekers and refugees. Family-based green card categories showed some movement forward in the visa bulletin, but backlogs remain massive. Elimination of the diversity visa lottery. A long-standing target of conservatives, the lottery faces extinction under new proposals. New tax and financial burdens. Certain immigrants are now facing proposed tax changes tied to status, while new restrictions on sponsoring family members are also on the table. Meanwhile, a bipartisan bill called the Dignity Act seeks to balance tougher enforcement with new legal pathways. It proposes stricter penalties for asylum fraud, but also aims to provide relief for long-term undocumented residents who can prove strong ties. The bigger picture. Supporters of these changes argue that ending birthright citizenship and tightening immigration laws will discourage illegal immigration, reduce birth tourism, and preserve limited public resources. They see it as a necessary correction to what they believe has been a loophole exploited for too long. Critics, however, warn that this could create an entirely new class of stateless children, increase family separations, and push millions deeper into undocumented status. Economists worry that fewer immigrants could mean labor shortages in key industries, from agriculture to technology, potentially weakening U.S. competitiveness. A human perspective. Beyond the headlines and legal arguments, there's a very real human side to this story. Imagine a child born in Texas or California in March 2025 to parents who came legally on student visas but haven't yet secured permanent residency. Under this order, that child is not recognized as a U.S. citizen at birth. Years later, they could face deportation from the only country they've ever known. This is not just a legal debate. It's a question of identity, belonging, and fairness. For families, the uncertainty is overwhelming, especially when rules shift overnight and legal battles drag on for years. From watching decades of immigration policy shifts, one thing is clear: sudden changes often create confusion and unintended consequences. The strength of the U.S. has always been its ability to balance security with opportunity. While securing borders is important, policies that leave children in limbo raise deeper questions about values and long-term stability. The courts may decide the constitutionality, but society will decide the legacy. What you should do. If you are an immigrant, a green card holder, or someone with family planning to give birth in the U.S., stay informed. Check the official USCIS website and follow credible legal updates closely. Don't rely on rumors or social media for critical decisions. And most importantly, seek qualified legal advice before making life-changing moves. Conclusion. The push to end birthright citizenship marks a turning point in America's immigration story. Whether upheld or struck down, it signals a willingness to challenge bedrock principles that have shaped the nation for over a century. The stakes are enormous, not just for the families directly impacted, but for the very definition of what it means to be American. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next update. This is Visa Intel USA, helping you stay informed, stay ahead, and prepared for what's coming next. Thank you for watching video.